Hi, my name is Nadine, and today I'll be explaining about the anatomy and physiology of the skeletal system. Anatomy and physiology of the skeletal system. Before we begin knowing the anatomy and physiology of the skeletal system, we need to know the medical terminology, which is anatomy and physiology. Anatomy is the study of the structure of living things and what they're made of, and physiology is the study of how they function. So let's start off with the anatomy of the skeletal system. Your skeletal system is made of organs called bones. There are many different types of bones and they vary in shape and sizes, and this is how you know the different types of bones. The skeletal system is divided into two different sections, the axial and the appendicular skeleton. As you can see, the picture at the side shows a visual picture. The skull, spinal column, ribs, and bones make up the axial skeleton, and the shoulder girdle, arm bones, pelvic girdle, and leg bones make up the appendicular skeleton. The picture on the right here is your long bone, and the long bone has many parts, and the parts are really important, but I am gonna explain the most important parts. Okay, so first we have the medullary canal. The medullary canal is important because it includes the yellow marrow. The yellow marrow stores fat. And then we have the spongy bone. The spongy bone helps the muscle helps the bone compress easily because they have many bones. And the spongy bone also contains the red marrow, and the red marrow produces blood cells. It produces red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Here are the parts of the skull. I am not going to go in details, but this is a visual picture. For example, we have the frontal bone, which is you can say it's your forehead. And then we have the mandible, which is the bottom part of your jaw, which helps you open your jaw. And then we have the nasal bone. From its name, nasal, it's like nose, so it's a nose part. And then we have the mastoid, which is the ear inside your ear, and your skull is a part of it's a part of a joint, which I am gonna explain later. It's fixed and it does not move. Next, we have the parts of the vertebrae. Okay, the vertebrae, as you can see in the picture of the right, has many parts also. It is made of 26 bones. The vertebrae is what gives you the straight structure you have, and it supports your neck. Without the vertebrae, you can't walk, or you can't move, or you can't stand up straight. Depends on your disease you have. Types of ribs and joint. You have 12 pairs of ribs. The first 7 are called true ribs, and they are attached to the breastbone. The next 5 are called false ribs, and one of the 2 out of the 5 are called floating ribs because they don't attach to anything. Then you have three main types of joint. First, the joint is where two bones meet, and the ligament is what helps the joint and the bones connect together. Now there are 3 main types of joint. There are diarthrosis, amperiorthosis, and synertosis. Diarthrosis is like the ball and socket, which is like your shoulder. It can move 360 degrees, and it does not have limited movement. Amperiorthosis is like your arm. Your arm can only flex towards your arm or away from your arm, and it has limited movement. And the synostosis is your skull, and the skull is fixed and it does not move. Here are the bones of the skeletal system, and I'm not going to go in details, but here is a visual picture. This is the anterior view and this is the posterior view. Now we have the physiology of the skeletal system. Each bone of the skeletal system has a different function. The main function of the whole skeletal system is movement, framework, production of blood cells, storage, and protection. Movement. How does it help you move? Your muscular system and skeletal system work together. So your bones in the skeletal system connect to specific muscular tissue, which are called skeletal tissue, and these help you move. And the skeletal system and the muscular system work together. Then we have framework. Framework is the most the vertebrae is the most important part of the framework, because of what gives you the straight structure you have now, and it supports your head from leaning backwards. And then the production of blood cells. The production of blood cells, the red marrow, as I said, that is inside the spongy bone, produces blood cells. It produces platelets. It produces red blood cells and white blood cells. Storage: the bones store calcium and they store fat. And then the protection, as I said, the red marrow produces blood cells, and these blood cells help you fight diseases, and they help you stop bleeding, as the platelets form fibers when there's a cut to stop the cut. And also your ribs act as a cage to protect your internal organs like your heart and lungs from getting from an accident or something. And this is all for today, and I hope you enjoyed. And here are the sources I used for my information and pictures I have on my PowerPoint. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed again.